Hi everybody, welcome to episode 161 of Chilling3000 Hangouts. I'm here with John Leahy here on this edition for episode 161 on this interview. How are you doing, John?
David, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. I'm really looking forward to having the chance to talk with you tonight.
You're welcome. We have a lot of things going on here at the same time with the NFL, so please stay tuned there on the show for us to get to all of the reactions going on with the NFL as we speak with free agency and some signing extensions. We'll get to that later. So tell us a bit about yourself, John.
Well, I'm a sportscaster, play-by-play broadcaster. I've been in the industry since 1995. I'm currently the radio voice of the UMass Lowell Riverhawks, college hockey team in Division One. I was at Merrimack College for 19 years in that same role. Did 17 years on the radio with Merrimack and also 2 years on television. I've also had a chance to do some other sports. I did some Division One college basketball. Did a game for Maine, University of Maine, on radio, and I've just had a chance to cover a lot of different sports around New England, and I'm very grateful to be able to have done this for 30 years. So it rolls on.
30 years before I was born, even. Sorry to say that, but uh, so tell us about how did you get into what inspired you to do play-by-play?
Well, I've always wanted to do it, David, from a very young age. My interest in it started around the age of 6 or 7. I used to turn the volume down on my little black and white TV and pretend to be the television voice of the Boston Bruins, who back then was Fred Cusick, who was a
Yeah,
legend. And so the interest started very young. And, I went through college and I kind of buried my dream a little bit. I got into the uh, mode of thinking of, how do I make a career? I got to do something to, make a career. And I wound up doing other types of jobs. I was in mental health for 15 years. And, it was nice. It paid the bills, but it wasn't what I really wanted to do. And at the age of 30 in 1995, before I turned 31 later in that year, I enrolled in broadcasting school. And I was able to get my education in the broadcasting industry there. And then I started doing high school games on a volunteer basis in my hometown. And just a lot of hard work went into it and networking from one step to another. And that gets me where I am today.
indeed. Hello to Jeffrey and Justin in the live chat. Um, so let's get into some college hockey here. Let me share screen some of the stuff here. First, we have the division recaps for college hockey. As you see here, Boston College is in first place with uh, 55 points. And as for UMass Lowell, they're seventh. They're in the tournament. What do you think about their season?
Yeah, well, for the Riverhawks, it's been really a tale of two seasons. The first half, they did very well, and they started the second half right after Christmas with a trip out to Palm Springs, California, and they won a couple of games out there, and they came back from that trip. And since then, it's been a bit of a struggle. The Riverhawks have only won 3 games since coming back from California, so it's been kind of a tale of two seasons. But you can throw all of that out the window, David, because the playoffs start Wednesday night. All 11 teams in Hockey East make the tournament. So each team has an opportunity to get to the tournament. Now, as you can see there, the Riverhawks will play the New Hampshire Wildcats in the opening round on Wednesday night at the Tsongas Center in Lowell. And that's intriguing because the Wildcats and the Riverhawks just played each other this past weekend. UNH
That's right.
swept the Riverhawks. And for the second consecutive season, these two teams will meet in the first round. And last year, they ended the season against each other with 2 games. So there's a lot going on here. There's a lot to unpack. But at the end of the day, the Riverhawks will be looking to snap a winless streak and move on into the quarterfinals. And if they do advance, they would play either Boston University or Maine in the second round. But first, you got to win on Wednesday.
Yep. And as for Fridays is concerned, that is the quarterfinals with Providence and Connecticut. And as for Saturday, we have some more quarterfinals here. And then the semifinals for Thursday, and then the championship Hockey East on Friday at TD Garden,
Yep.
where, where it has the place for not only the championship but the big pot as for earlier this year. As always, every year they have the big pot. Uh, so it's going to be interesting weeks of hockey playoffs, which I think is going to be very exciting.
Yeah, it will. BU, Maine, and Boston College all earned the right to sit out the first round. Providence and UConn also will sit out the first round, but because of the fact that we have 11 teams, we have an odd number in Hockey East. The four seed and the 5 seed wind up playing each other in the quarterfinals. So we already know that those two teams are going to play this weekend, and then the 3 surviving teams from the opening round will play those top 3 teams. So it's going to be very exciting. And of course, the great thing about playoff hockey, David, is if the game goes into overtime, we keep playing until we have a winner. You know, it's first goal
That's
wins. Right. First goal wins in overtime, and the overtime could last 10 seconds or it could last 10 hours. And so that's what we love about the game, and we're excited to get it started Wednesday night at the Tsongas Center.
Not only that, but there'll be more fights in the postseason, I think, than in the regular season on average. Do you think?
Well, if you're talking physical fights, they don't allow that in college hockey.
They don't? Okay.
Yeah, so you'll see that in the NHL, of course. You'll see it in certain professional leagues, but it is not allowed. Fisticuffs are not allowed in college hockey, so which I like because it kind of speeds the game and makes the flow a lot better.
I love their email. So yeah, that I can understand because they're trying to get paid down the road. You know, getting drafted and injuries have a big impact. So
yeah, injuries can happen in fights, but really from a play-by-play perspective, you don't want those kinds of disruptions in a game. You want a nice, fast game with a clean flow, and fighting will slow it all down. So I have no problem at all with that not being a part of the game.
Who is the threat to the Riverhawks?
The threat to the Riverhawks? Well, I think any team in Hockey East can beat any team, David. I think it's a great league from top to bottom. I think every team possesses its own challenges, and I mean, the Riverhawks will have their hands full with UNH on Wednesday night. I think UNH is a big challenge. You saw that this weekend with the Wildcats winning both games. So Hockey East is a tough league, night in and night out. Any team can beat any other team, so you better be ready. And any one of these 11 teams are good enough to win the Hockey East tournament. So it's going to be exciting to watch.
Indeed. And who is the best player in your mind as for the Riverhawks that that the Riverhawks really need help for? Who is the best player?
Well, there's a few different guys that I can point to. You always look at your senior leadership as important. I think Owen Cole, one of our forwards, has been terrific. He's had a lot of big games and a lot of clutch goals. He's stepped up in crucial situations. And I think that he leads the offense. We have a young player by the name of Mirko Badazzoni, who is terrific. He's a freshman with a lot of upside, a lot of talent. And we got a lot of veteran help on defense. I think the Riverhawks are loaded on defense. They really are. And they brought in a lot of veteran help in the transfer portal, guys like Jack Robilotti from Holy Cross. They brought in a couple of guys from Colgate, Nick Anderson and Pearson Brandon. And I think just up and down the lineup, everybody contributes. So that's what makes it fun.
Speaking of Holy Cross, they're not part of our conference, but they are in the college hockey playoffs. I've heard recently.
Yeah,
so.
not only are they in the playoffs, but they won the Atlantic Hockey regular season title. And I know how good that Holy Cross team is because I saw them out in California when we went out to Palm Springs and played them. They were a part of that tournament. And I just have to take a peek here. They actually beat AIC in overtime today, 4-3. So the Crusaders are going to move on in the Atlantic Hockey Tournament. So really happy for them. And that's a great program they have there.
Yes, indeed. And hello there to Jamar. So it's going to be very exciting. This is going to be starting this Wednesday. For those who are wondering where they can, we're not done with anything yet. I just want to ask where they can find you on the radio.
All right. Well, there's a couple of different ways. We stream our games on the internet, but we also get picked up by a radio station locally in Lowell. If you want to listen to the Riverhawk games, you just go to goriverhawks.com.
Yes.
And when you go there, you simply have to look for the link that shows our game. When you click on the hockey game, you'll see a link where you can just go right in and listen. And if you're in the Lowell area or in the Merrimack Valley, we're also on 980 on the AM dial on WCAP. So that website is 980wcap.com. Or if you're in Lowell, just tune your dial to 980 and you can pick up the terrestrial radio broadcast.
Very cool. And do you do any play-by-play in the summer for other sports?
I did baseball for 16 years, David. I was in professional baseball for 16 years. I did 9 years with the Lowell Spinners, who are,
okay.
They were the short season affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. Had a lot of great memories there in Lowell. Unfortunately, the COVID pandemic killed the Spinners and their legacy. But I've worked for a couple of different minor league teams around the country. I worked in Western Michigan for a couple of summers with the Kalamazoo Kings. They were an independent team in the Frontier League, and I also worked for they were then called the Florence Freedom, who were also in the same league as the Kings. They're now the Florence Yalls, Y''ALLS. And I started with the North Shore Spirit, which was a team in Lynn, Massachusetts. And they were in the Can-Am League. They were in the same league as the Brockton Rocks and the Worcester Tornadoes.
Yeah.
So I have
now
a lot of
the Bravehearts.
Yeah, right. So, by the way, I'm glad to see Worcester has a team because that's a great baseball town. But yeah, a lot of good memories in my baseball time, and I'd love to get back into it if possible.
Yeah, you should get back to do play-by-play for the Worcester now Bravehearts. That'd be great.
Yeah, no, I'm open to anything that might be available out there. So it's a big part of my past, and I'd love to revisit it.
Yeah, we got the Worcester Bravehearts and the Worcester Red Sox, the Blue Sox, who I like to go all the time. Both of them. So yeah, Worcester is a great baseball city. Same with Boston, of course, which we were talking about before we went on the air, talking about Alex Beckman's impact on the Red Sox. Do you have any predictions as for? Let's do all the teams. We already, since we're done talking about college here. Let's get into all the professional Boston teams right now, the big four. What do you think of them right now?
Well, first of all, I think the Red Sox are going to be better. How much better, I don't know. But, I think to win championships, you talk a lot about pitching and defense, and I think they've upgraded that. I mean, the couple of starters that they picked up, Jared Crochet, they got from a very bad Chicago White Sox team. And the other guy they got, Walker Buehler from the Dodgers. I think he'll be good. Now, these guys are not rookies. They have some mileage on them, but they have enough experience that I think will help the Red Sox. And, they picked up an established closer, which they had to do, right? Because Kenley Jansen went to the Dodgers. So
Kenny changed so much.
Angels, I'm sorry. Yes. Right geographical area, wrong team. So there's that. And, obviously the biggest pickup was Bregman, and it'll be interesting to see how Alex Cora decides who plays where. Rafael Devers doesn't want to leave third base. And, Bregman brings a lot of positives to the table. Yeah, he's, 30, 31 years old, but he'll hit well in Fenway, and he's a Gold Glove third baseman. So the Red Sox will be better. How much better, I don't know.
Now let's get to the Bruins, who are struggling right now as we speak.
Yeah, well, big changes, right, with the Bruins. A lot of trades there at the trade deadline. And, we were wondering, are the Bruins going to be buyers or are they going to be sellers? And as it turns out, they traded away some pretty big pieces. But everything has a shelf life, right? Brad Marchand, you wouldn't expect him to be dealt out of town, but he's going to a Florida team that I think he'll help them. Brandon Carlo also was sent out, and as was Charlie Coyle. And And I remember
Yeah,
Charlie Coyle from his days at BU. So he's a terrific player, and he will help. No, I think the
yeah,
Bruins have to kind of take a look now and gear toward the future and kind of evaluate where they need to be and where they need to go. And there's going to be a lot to that. We may see some rebuilding years in the future for the Bruins, but
yeah.
hopefully over the long haul, these changes they're making will continue to make them more competitive.
And what about the Celtics?
Love the Celtics. Love watching them. They're a fun team to watch. Up and down the lineup, they have guys who can contribute. Peyton Pritchard is such a great story. I mean, you got a
Yeah,
guy who scored 43 points in a game recently. He's just so invaluable. And, everybody knows their role. Everybody is comfortable with their role. I think if they can keep Porzingis healthy, I think that's huge. But they have the depth, David, that they can rotate guys in and out and stay fresh. And they have enough talent there that they can win games no matter who's out there. So I just love
mhm.
them. They're fun to watch. And the homestand continues tomorrow with Utah coming to town. So that'll be great.
Utah. I know you'll be watching that, and I'll try to check it out as well. And now about the Patriots. We were talking about football earlier with the breaking news of Josh Allen, but what do you think of that impact of the Patriots? And what are your thoughts on the Patriots here so far?
Well, obviously, the biggest change is the head coach, right? Mike Vrabel is a guy
I
who
agree.
has a lot of experience down at Tennessee, and he's a proven winner. And he knows the Patriot organization, he knows the systems. He's going to come in and do things the way that things needed to be done, in my
Okay.
opinion. I think that Drake May will thrive with Vrabel. They also have Josh McDaniels back, right, as the offensive coordinator.
Yep.
So I think there's a lot to be excited about. I think that these last couple of years have been awfully lean, and I think there's no way to go but up. But I think Vrabel is a great evaluator of talent, and he's going to bring the guys in that will get the job done. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do here.
Yeah. It's going to be a smooth. Uh, the reason why I say smooth here because we're still rebuilding, and it's going to be interesting with the new coach. It's going to be a new era. That's what I'm trying to say. A new era in New England with those two guys.
Yeah, it was strange. Bob Kraft admitted that he made a mistake when he brought
Yeah,
in Gerard Mayo. I guess Mr.
in
Kraft
his
felt
press
that he.
conference.
Yeah, I think he felt that he put Gerard in a kind of an uncomfortable situation, and succeeding Bill Belichick, the expectations were, I would say they wanted them to be high, but realistically, things didn't work out. So, it's I wish Gerard Mayo well, and I'm excited for the Mike Vrabel era to begin here in New England. And I think there's a genuine sense of excitement with this football team now, and we'll see how
Yeah,
well they do moving forward.
indeed. Um, as to get back to college hockey, I've been getting into it recently for the past 2 years or so. I went to my first college hockey game at Holy Cross. Actually, that's October. Well, actually, no, it was the championship game from last year, the Hockey East championship game
Yeah.
from but the first real regular season one was not uh, um, last October. But what is your advice for those who want to get into the game of college hockey for Hockey East? And do they need to know the players or just follow the team and go for it?
You mean like if you wanted to
Get
be
into it.
a
Yeah.
broadcaster for college hockey, you mean?
A sports fan
Oh,
asked. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think it begins with number one, following the game and knowing the game, and just being as involved in the game as you possibly can. It's about relationships, meeting people, and
Mhm.
just making yourself known. Being able to go out there and do whatever needs to be done. And college hockey is growing; it's expanding,
Yep.
and you see all these events going on, like the outdoor games, like at Fenway
Yes.
and Wrigley Field and things like that. And the sport of hockey is always trying to grow itself, right? So they need enthusiastic people to be involved with it. So Whether you're
Yeah,
coming at it from a fan's perspective or whether you want to be involved with it in an employment type of a situation, it's all about being excited about it, being passionate about it, and making
yeah,
relationships and friendships. That's where it all kind of gets started.
yeah. And I think it's been growing more, even more, with the Four Nations face-off that happened recently.
Yeah.
Uh, the U.S. Canada. It reminded me a lot of the WBC with baseball, with USA Japan. Even though it wasn't a rivalry per se, but because it was Mike Trout and Sale Otani with that story. But with this story, with everything going on, it made it more intense with that rivalry. I think you can agree with me on that.
Yeah, I definitely do. And they came up with that idea to kind of replace the National Hockey League All-Star game. So
Yes,
they were looking for fresh ideas, ideas that would engage the fans. And I think they did a fantastic job with it. You had games up in Montreal, you had games here in Boston, and the NHL stars were involved with it, and it brought back memories for me back in the early '70s when the United
3
States.
seconds.
Yeah, you had NHL teams playing the Soviet Red Army back in the early '70s,
Oh,
and it was the Soviets made an exhibition tour around NHL arenas to Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Montreal, and there
yeah,
was a lot of emotion and excitement with those games, and that's kind of what the Four Nations tournament reminded me of. And we had a great finish to it, right? An overtime game where Connor
overtime.
McDavid scores, and we were lucky here in Boston. We got to see it right here at the Garden. So I think they're happy with the success of it, and I wouldn't be surprised if they continue that idea going forward.
How do you think they should handle it going forward? Because people say, take turns with the Olympics or do something else in between there in the third year. What do you think?
With the Four Nations idea, you mean?
Yeah, so that way they won't overdo it because so that way that'll be a
Yeah,
point.
yeah. I think they're going to look at it on a year by year basis. They're going to evaluate the success of it. They're going to evaluate what worked, what didn't work, and I could see them continuing it, maybe variations a little bit on a theme, but
Yeah,
from all of the indications, I think it's been a very positive thing, and I think that I would not be surprised if they continue that trend. So it's going to be great to see.
yeah, and I do hope that going forward they'll continue to add more into the game because they need what I think they need is more national coverage,
Hmm.
which I know they do that with the NBA and NFL non-stop. Um, they need that with hockey, and um, they also need more national televised games. They're doing it with the ABC and TNT, but TNT is only once a week. ABC is on Saturdays in the second half of the season.
Hmm.
They need to add more games. I mean, they do have ESPN Plus, but people sometimes can't access ESPN Plus. Um, so they need to try to get more ideas to get it more out there with national TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think they're doing a great job with it. You mentioned ESPN Plus. Hockey East has a deal with them
Yes, they do.
to do the games. I was actually on ESPN Plus for a couple of years, so that's great. You've got Nesson here, which is
Yep.
part of most everyone's cable, and they
Some,
also they're also doing games on TNT and ESPN, of course. So it's all about growing the game, David, and I think
yeah,
any way we can would be great. And I think the Stanley Cup Finals still are on network TV, so
yeah.
that's good. So lots of ways to tune in.
What is your favorite place to hang out? Just a different question here. What is your favorite place to hang out that you just want to get away from everything?
Oh wow, you mean get away from sports and broadcasting, huh? Well, I enjoy I enjoy the water. I love going out
Mm,
and just being by the water. And yeah, I'm also a musician too, so I like to do like open mic nights where I play for people, and
okay.
that's music is a big part of my life. It's a way that I can relax and connect with people, which is what my dad was so good at. And
Tell us why.
well, I grew up around a musical environment, and I've always been fascinated by it. And we kind of had music, we were indoctrinated with it from a very early age. So my dad didn't let us get away from the music for very long. He believed that we all had talent inside us based on our family history. So yeah, I just
Yeah.
basically took the ball and ran with it. And when hockey season ends, I look for opportunities to get out and play some music, and it's very relaxing and it's enjoyable. And like I said, it's a great way to connect with people.
Do you have other interests too, like as for watching TV or or is it just music?
Yeah, I'm not too much of a TV watcher, which is strange because number one, I'm in the industry, and number two, there's thousands of channels it seems like that you can watch. But I'm not a very sedentary person. I like to be up
Yeah.
and moving around. My wife watches TV a lot more than I do, but
Mhm.
occasionally I'll flip something on. But like I said,
Yeah.
I'm definitely more of a move around type of person than be sedentary. So not a whole lot of TV, I guess.
Yeah, that's what's great about the radio too, because you get more stuff done while walking around too. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
because
very, very true.
um, because and also that type of commercials, on TV, it just gets in the way, of course, and you want to get, you just want to do something active, and that's what the radio is for. It can still, cover the game, uh, whatever game you're covering, you can do it that way.
Well,
Uh,
you think about in the summertime, right? You're listening to a baseball game on the radio, and
yeah.
that's playing in the background, right? In the summertime, you're doing all different kinds of things. You might be cooking on the grill, you might have people over, and the game's in the background, and being doing play by play on radio is great, and I
Hmm.
actually prefer it because you have to paint the picture for your listener. You're the eyes,
Yes.
you're the eyes and the ears of your audience, and your success as a play-by-play announcer is to the degree that you can paint that picture. And if the listener can close their eyes and visualize the game that they're hearing in their mind's eye, then you've done it right. So
Hmm.
radio is a lot more work, but it's a lot more challenging. And I say it's a lot more work because I board op the games myself. I run the commercials as well. So I don't have someone back in the studio, a board op there. I do it all myself. So it's a
Yeah.
challenge, but it's really rewarding to be able to pull it off.
Indeed. Do you have any advice for those who want to get into radio like you?
Yeah, I mean it's basically hard work. You have to network. Hard working and networking. I think, you have to be willing to take whatever assignment you can get. And when you get that assignment, you just simply have to excel at it and talk to people, talk to people that are in the industry, make a lot of friends, and find out, what people are doing in the industry. That's how I did it. I networked a lot and I went from step to step, and one opportunity leads to another. So you got to be enthusiastic and you got to be uh, willing to work hard. You're not going to make a lot of money at the early stages of this thing. So
Yeah.
you have to be able to do what needs to be done and make relationships along the way.
One more question. Do you think it's possible for people to get into radio without college if they just want to play music? Or,
Yeah, no, it's awfully hard. You need to have that
no?
college education
Yeah.
because there's a lot of the way the industry is. There's a lot of skills that you need to be able to manage, and not having an education would be a difficult thing to overcome. So, if you wanted to be in the broadcasting industry, there's all kinds of courses and schools that can help you along that path. Emerson College comes to mind. That's a great one. And BU itself, they have a great broadcasting program there. Howard Stern graduated from BU. So
Oh,
I
really?
would, yeah, no.
Oh,
So I wouldn't recommend not having an education. I think your education builds on everything else, and it will
yeah.
certainly help you if you choose to go down this path.
Yeah. And people can just take that one class, right? They don't have to take anything else. Just take that one class and go from there, or do they have to study
Well,
this?
usually it takes more than one class. The
Yeah.
broadcasting programs are a curriculum. Especially at
Yeah.
BU, and the people that go to Syracuse, which is the number one broadcasting school in the country. There's a curriculum you have to follow. So it encompasses journalism and writing and things of that nature. So you really have to get well versed in all different parts of the industry if you want to be good at it. So yeah, you need that education for sure.
Before I head off, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Who is going to win the championship?
Which sport?
Oh, I'm sorry, for the hockey.
You are putting me on the spot.
Yes.
Because all 11 teams, I think, are capable of winning it. Some had better regular seasons than the other, but I would say I'm going to leave it with this. I think if you were asking me to pick a favorite, pick who is the favorite to win it. One might say Boston College based on their dominant season. But again, once the playoffs start, you throw all that stuff out the window, and the 11th seed can beat the 6th seed. So you're just going to have to roll in and watch it and see who will take it. But it'll be compelling hockey for sure.
Mm-hmm. And where can they find you on social media?
Well, on Facebook, it's just my regular name, John Leahy, and on Twitter or X, it's at JR Leahy, JRLEAHY, and Instagram, I think I'm at JLeahy14. But if people want to learn about me or touch base with me, I'm asking people to go to my website, which is johnrleahy.com, and that will give you the whole background story of everything.
All right, cool. So thank you very much for coming on. We'll keep in touch and hope to do something again in the near future. So thank you very much for coming on.
David, I appreciate it. Great to meet you, and I enjoyed talking with you. Anytime.
You're welcome. John Leahy, everybody, and we'll be right back.
Are you ready for the ultimate entertainment experience? Then welcome to the Network 3000.
We've got you covered with all of the variety of content such as our weekly programs like
Chilling3000 Hangouts, the Popcorn Panel Podcast, Sports Show Standing Stand, Breaking the Chains, and more.
We also got the game shows, game plays, play-by-play reaction, blogs, and other fun stuff
that you can only get here on the Network 3000. Subscribe today.
All right, let me add my rest of my folks here. Hello there, Emily, Michael, and Eric. How you doing?
Hello. I'm doing good.
Pretty good. First time on the new format here.
Yeah, same. Well, it's been a while since I've been on period because I've been busy with school. And you just had the announcer for the hockey team from my school on the show. So.
Yes, I did. Well,
yeah,
it was not intentional. I just saw on Facebook. That was just all good.
It just happened. It just happened.
Yep. Hello there, Rob.
Hey, I'm finally here. Let me turn this TV down. My fault. Hey, it's a lot going on in the sports world, isn't it?
Yes, it is right now, and it's a perfect time for me to go live here and talk about it as we speak. Because you have some breaking news that we want to cover that just happened right before I was going to the interview live here. The Buffalo Bills, ladies and gentlemen, has signed Josh Allen to a 6-year extension. I'm sorry, 6-year extension with. Let me see if I can find the
$330 million deal.
$330 million.
That's big for the Bills, man.
You said $350 million?
330.
$250 million guaranteed.
Yes.
I mean, hey, listen, that's what you get for almost.
That's a record.
That's what you get for almost beating Patrick Mahomes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Almost.
Almost.
Absolutely.
But I'll tell
you, almost don't count on horseshoes. Only
exactly.
And hand grenades.
Exactly. And I'll tell you this as well. The Buffalo Bills better get it done very quickly because the AFC East is going to get good very quickly. The Patriots are going to get better. The Patriots are going to get better.
Less pressure with more help, maybe?
Yeah. The Jets are going to continue to get better now that they have the cancer Aaron Rodgers out the door. You have the Miami Dolphins who always going to have a dangerous offense. They're going to be better this year. So the Buffalo Bills need to get it done within the next couple of years, or it's going to turn back to the 90s once again after they made those 4 Super Bowls in a row.
That's right.
Like the late 90s, 2000s, or something.
Yeah, you know.
Early 90s.
Early 90s. Yeah.
Oh,
Let's go over the recap.
I'm talking
Bills.
afterwards. So,
Yeah. Actually, before I go to the recap of what's happened today with the big money deals, I'm gonna go one by one to give your thoughts. Emily, you start first with your reaction to Josh Allen.
Oh, he deserves it. I mean, I'm saying this from a Patriots fan. He's destroyed us so many times, but he's such an awesome player to watch. I mean, hopefully this doesn't become the second coming of Cam Newton, who Josh Allen reminds me of a lot. Hopefully he stays healthy. Was kind of the one thing Cam couldn't do, but a player like Josh Allen staying healthy, he can be very explosive, and he wins a ring, he might have a case for the Hall of Fame.
Well, can I counter with that real quick?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said about Cam Newton. I really think that he reminded me of Cam Newton as well. Here's the problem. Cam Newton started getting a lot of injuries towards the end of his career because he ran so much. That's the thing you worry about if you're Josh Allen.
As you would say.
Yep, you worry about Josh Allen, those injuries. But when you saw what he did this past year with the lack of weapons he had, and he had decent weapons, and they weren't terrible weapons. They were decent weapons.
No.
He deserves a contract, but he has to stop running as much.
Yeah.
Yes, he has. Yeah. He needs to get away from the Bills' whatever curse they have of not winning a championship.
Yeah, absolutely.
They went to
not physical maturity, but also team production as well. I mean, Josh is going into his 8th year in the NFL, his 8th year with the Buffalo Bills. But I'm going to go back to that point where I made, where it's about less pressure with more help. Because, and you got guys on their team, like for example, Khalil Shakir, like Greg Rousseau and Oliver. If those guys do their job, that's going to take a little bit of pressure off of Josh Allen to help them win games. Because right now, if Josh Allen does not go out and produce, then the Buffalo Bills don't win games.
Exactly.
If you have Brock Purdy not producing San Francisco, he still has George Kittle. He still has Brandon Ayuk.
And the defense. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick Bosa. Same thing in Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts does not produce. You still have Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, AJ Brown. They have a really good football team, and I think it's not only. And once again, I don't think it's just physical maturity. It's about team production as well.
Don't forget the offensive line. They never get credit.
No, the offensive line never gets credit. I totally agree with that wholeheartedly. But I'll also say, if you're the Buffalo Bills, right now after that move, you are what 1,130,000 below you're above the salary cap, so you're in the red when it comes to salary cap. We look at the Cleveland Browns, who are just $50 million in the hole. They're $12 million up now in the salary cap. So if you're the Buffalo Bills, you still need to be able to build this team. But it's going to have to be through the draft. And whatever you do not give up another draft pick to the Kansas City Chiefs.
No.
100%. Eric, your thoughts?
That contract, he deserves it. He definitely deserves it, that contract. Josh Allen's been one of the best quarterbacks, to come along the pike. He, like I said, when the Patriots lost Tom Brady, Josh Allen and the Bills took that opportunity. And he capitalized on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you one thing right now: the Bills, as long as Josh Allen's there, the Bills might dominate the AFC East for a long, long time.
Yep.
So
100%.
Now, let me ask you this, Eric. Let me ask you: are you concerned about this? He is going to be 29 years old on May the 21st. Does he have to stop running so much? Because if he continues to run and take that punishment, he gets into his 30s. We remember what happened with Steve Young.
Right.
So what do you think about that? Because that's the one thing I feel like that concerns me big time.
If the offensive line can protect him and he stays healthy, like I said, they're going to dominate for a long time. But he's going to need some protection for him to stop running.
Yeah. Well, when you say dominate for a long time, so basically you're telling me even with the Patriots having $140 million in cap space, you don't trust them to go out and do the right thing.
Well, I'm hoping the Patriots do come back. I'm a Patriots fan.
Yeah.
I hope they come back as well. Yeah.
And if they do, but if Josh Allen, if they keep with the formula that they have for the Bills, like I said, they're going to dominate the AFC East for a long time. But like I said, I'm not going to underestimate the Patriots or the Dolphins. Because like any given Sunday and any time, they'll catch up. So, and we'll see what happens. But right now, he deserves that contract, $330 million, and and we shall see what happens.
May I also add? I don't think this is necessarily an extension. He does, on his old contract, he had 4 years left, so he'd be a free agent in 2029. But this contract pretty much overwrites the last 4 years and adds 2 years. So he'll be with the Bills through 2030, and in 2031, he'll be a free agent. That's what I'm hearing.
Hopefully he'll be alive by then, unless,
Yeah, he'll be...
Hopefully he'll be in Chicago by then.
He'll be 34 when his contract expires.
Well, if he's getting this, imagine what Patrick Mahomes' next contract is going to be.
Oh, let me look him up real quick.
Hey, Danny, what's your thoughts about Kansas City Chiefs players getting arrested recently?
30.
They got arrested?
No, there's been some player. Well, I don't know if this is
Xavier Worthy, former Texas wide receiver. He there was a situation with his girlfriend and she had hit him too and etc. But at the same time, you can't hit a woman. You can't hit a woman. I don't know all the details. I don't know what happened, but it's not a good look because it's the Kansas City wide receivers get arrested way too much.
Yes.
Wow.
Wide receivers, period.
Yeah.
And
I hate to say it, but if you look back at Andy Reid, not a lot was made about his son, who had got arrested a few times. But his son, there's been a culture sometimes with Andy Reid when it comes to players getting in trouble. But that's another story for another day.
Yeah, and that's why you rather play for Belichick than him.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna keep his guys in check.
Yeah,
and this is like you can't be doing that. I mean. You got. I mean, he may be your best receiver, but you got to discipline him for that.
I think Rashee Rice is their best wide receiver. It's just that, and I think that when he comes back, he'll make the difference. Xavier Worthy is a really good wide receiver, young wide receiver, but I think he still has a long ways to go as far as maturity. Learn how to catch the ball, run routes. He's very fast, but his route running is not as crisp.
Yeah.
He would definitely be demoted under Belichick, that's for sure.
Yeah.
If not released.
Mm-hmm.
But first round receivers that get arrested, they are perfect fit for the Oakland Raiders. I just said the Oakland Raiders. They're in Vegas now.
Las Vegas Raiders.
I wish they were still in Oakland.
Every team in Oakland's now gone.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yep.
I hope that happens to New York. I hope that happens to New York next.
And as we get to the first game of the season feeling, I think what players need to know about is how's your team going to execute. That's what you focus on, and then the second thing
by checking out Danny's Red Bubble. That's how you do it.
No, not that.
You and the Red Bubbles. Red Bubble, Blue Bubble, watch out for Link's sword. Okay.
No, I think what these teams need to worry about is how's your team going to execute. That's what you're focused on, and then the second thing is that you're going to have the right psychological disposition going into the game, and then you have to deal with all these unknowns, which you got a new coaching staff, new front office change, so.
Yeah.
With all these unknowns, it could be anyone's game. Now that Phillies won the Super Bowl now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Unknown like Libertadores. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Rob? What else do you want to talk about here with the news?
Oh, I want to talk about how the Steelers gave DK Metcalf 5 years, 150, and it's a risk because honestly, who is your quarterback if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and you're going to put him with George Pickens? So if George Pickens comes out and has a great year, you're going to have to then pay George Pickens. But the problem for the Steelers, that defense is getting older. That defense is not the same. You got to make some decisions on TJ Watt. This is a huge contract, a huge commitment.
And yet they're still consistent under head coach Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's me, honestly, I would bring back – I know people don't want to hear this. I would bring back Russell Wilson for 1 year. I think if you have a guy who he's familiar with, you bring a guy in who's he's familiar with in DK Metcalf. And honestly, if you look at DK Metcalf when he was with Russell Wilson, that's when he had his most success. And there's a bevy of running backs in this draft. You can get somebody easily in this draft. So I mean, if the Steelers can draft well, it's a great move. If not, then we'll see.
I want to say something about we're on the subject of players getting arrested, and I kind of want to say something about Metcalf. I mean, he's kind of known to have like a diva like attitude, like AB did, and gonna be interesting to see how that clashes with Pickens and his attitude. We could be in for some locker room warfare, or that's what I'm thinking.
We'll see what happens. But
yeah, because if there's locker room warfare, that Tomlin streak of being over 500 may very well be in jeopardy. I know people have said that for a long time.
Yeah, especially if he brings in Aaron Rodgers. Which is going to be just totally hilarious.
Goodbye, locker room.
I doubt that's going to happen, but I would definitely.
Now, what if the Cowboys sign Aaron Rodgers to a 1-year deal?
He's going to that.
He needs to fulfill the prophecy and go to the Vikings. And he's going to throw a crucial interception in the NFC Championship game. Highly doubt it will be the Saints, but it'll be.
I'd rather him be substitute host with Ken Jennings on Jeopardy.
What do we always say, David? We say Aaron Rodgers is the man.
Yeah, get well soon. We also have.
I want to ask this question to all of you: Would any of you count out CJ Stroud?
No. To do what?
I don't think so.
CJ Stroud, current QB for the Texans.
To count out to do what? Just have a good season or what?
Danny put that statement saying that Aaron Rodgers is the man. Would you count out CJ Stroud?
As being the man?
No.
Yeah.
He's in the learning state.
Listen, at the bottom line is that the Texans the last 2 years have won playoff games. I mean, they may have been ugly, but the last 2 years they've won playoff games.
I saw that.
And yes, the Yankees do stink, and the Reds. I'm hoping the Red Sox come back. I'm not a Red Sox fan, but when the Red Sox are good, baseball is better. But hey, that's just my opinion.
Yep, and when the Yankees lose, baseball is better. And when the Ravens choke.
So said Happy Gilmore.
What about Happy Gilmore?
That's David's favorite movie.
Anyway,
it's not going to fit with my headset.
See you guys later.
All right, and this is why I think about movies. You just make the list. Eric, you should make that a shirt. Please do.
We're gonna have a soundbite.
Put that on a shirt. Yeah, we can do that.
We're gonna have a soundbite of you saying that.
You just made the list. There you go. That's soundbite. You're all good.
There you go. Tara says, "I thought Becky Lynch was the man."
That's another sport there, Calvert.
Yeah, that's wrestling. That's wrestling.
I'm watching wrestling right now. I'm watching AEW Revolution.
How is it?
Revolution.
Well, so far, I like to thank God Adam Page beat MJF. MJF is I could call him. He's a Beavis-looking butthead, but very annoying. But he wrestled a great match against Hangman Adam Page. He won that. the pre-show was pretty good.
Yeah.
Entertaining match with the trios matchup between Big Boom AJ and a conglomeration against the MXM Collection and Johnny TV, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Bobby Lashley to win the AEW World Title so that he can claim to have titles in WWE, TNA, and AEW. So world titles.
You know what? That would not be bad. I think Bobby Lashley should be in the running for that. If they can get another partner for Shelton Benjamin in the Hurt Syndicate, it'll be
So
that would be helpful and
definitely
free up, because right now because he never won a tag team title in wrestling. So, and this is Bobby Lashley's first tag team title in an major organization. So that's good. Thinking what's up next. Speaking of which, Swerve and Ricochet,
that should be interesting.
Yeah. So,
wasn't he planning to do that at one point?
Yeah, he was. Maybe some things fell through. I don't know. You have to talk to Jordan about that. I saw Queen of the Ring, the movie, yesterday. It was a great movie. Yeah, it was a great movie. If you're a wrestling fan or an advocate for women's wrestling, also if you have dreams that you want to fulfill and all that, I recommend seeing this movie. And
let's get into the South. Oh, sorry, bud.
Oh,
I was going to say the Celtics Lakers last night. The Jason team beat the heck out of LeBron James, who can absolutely suck it.
Yeah,
in my opinion. LeBron James hairline.
Hold on, Mr. David. It's not LeBron's fault. It's not LeBron's fault. He came in the Garden in Game 6 and dropped 45. It's not his fault that he stopped the Celtics a few times from doing some great things. It's not his fault. It's not LeBron's fault. I get it. Now, what I will say is the Celtics played a really good game last night. We know that it's going to come down to them and the Cavaliers. But I'm going to say this, and I know you all. I'm sure you all are Celtics fans. There is nobody in the Eastern Conference who wants to play the Detroit Pistons right now in the playoffs. The Detroit Pistons are the scariest team because they're young. They don't know that they're not supposed to be here, and they remind me of some of these old school teams that started to become very good very fast. Cade Cunningham is finally coming to his own. They're starting to play better basketball on the defensive side, perimeter defense. They're jump shooting. So the Detroit Pistons are one of those teams in the East that could, who knows?
Dark horse.
Dark horse. They're a dark horse. Who knows? They could pull Denver Nuggets in '94, and when they upset the Seattle Supersonics. Who knows? But we know Cleveland. We know Cleveland's playoff history without LeBron. We know how Donovan Mitchell starts to act like James Harden once he gets to the playoffs. I'm just saying. Now, with Boston, I think Boston will beat them, 4-1, maybe 4-2. Cleveland, I think it could be a 6-game, 7-game series.
Yeah. I'll say that might be a series that comes down to veteran experience. But, you never know. People could get injured, and that could drastically change a season, especially in the NBA where there's smaller rosters, so one player can make a more significant impact than they could in the NFL or Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's gonna be. I think Cleveland's gonna be the favorite to or threat to the Celtics, in my opinion. I think that's what's going to so we'll see how that goes. Next, here's something I want to say to ESPN. Okay, how about stop not talking about the great stories of certain teams like Cleveland, and also Oklahoma. Like, how about you stop talking about the big market teams and talk about how come they're not talking about Cleveland? Like, how come they're not talking about Cleveland a lot?
You talking about the Cavaliers?
They're talking about the Lakers all the time. They talk about. I know it's because of LeBron James and Luka recently.
Because we live in an era. Okay, so we live in the Skip Bayless / Stephen A. Smith era that we've been in for the last 10 to 15 years where they talk about specific teams and I'm going to South Beach and I'm going to LA. No. I remember back in the days of the sports reporters. I don't know if you guys, a lot of you guys are old enough to remember that, but the sports reporters back in the 90s when they actually talked about all the shows. I mean, not the shows, but all the teams. That's why shows like PTI, Party Interruption, stuff like that. That's why shows like that are so important because they still talk about baseball. They still talk about all the different teams, and they talk about the teams that matter. Because we think about it, we talk about the Cowboys 24/7, but who are the other Cowboys? The other Cowboys in the AFC are the Cincinnati Bengals. Even though they've been to the Super Bowl a few times, they're cheap. They don't spend any money. Their owner is trash. I mean,
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But as far as the NBA right now, there are so many good storylines in the NBA, and I think it's a shame we have people like Charles Barkley who continue to trash the league when, like again, we have great stories. Look at the Pistons.
Perkins.
Yeah. Like I said, look at the resurgence of some of these teams. We have the opportunity to possibly see the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? LeBron James in the finals. So it's a lot of great stories.
Yeah. And it's just sad they don't cover them. All they talk about is who is better than LeBron James K9 and Michael Jordan.
Look at the Houston Rockets. Look at what the Rockets are doing under you guys' former coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, they just want clicks. Everyone wants short form content. They'll just go for the clicks. So see, that's why you have so many bandwagon LA Lakers or Dodgers or Yankees fans. You Cowboys, those are the only teams they'll talk about, but they won't talk about, I don't know, the Cleveland Guardians.
Let me ask you guys this.
Guardians.
On First Take last year, how many times did they mention the Kansas City Royals and just how great of a season the Kansas City Royals were having? Zero.
But they talk about
that's why it's up to people like us to come out here and make the content for the small market teams.
Like this, for example.
Yep.
This is completely sad of what they're turned into because, they signed Stephen A. Smith for 5 or more years. I'm happy about that, but that's just going to be nothing but LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Cowboys. How about them Cowboys, huh?
How about them Cowboys? How about a first round loss as the 7th seed to the Green Bay Packers again?
Yeah. And Danny's looking at Cowboys catchers with Googles.
That's not true.
I have something fun for all you baseball fans. Pick 3 outfielders you'll have on your team.
Oh, we can only have 3?
Yes, only 3.
Oh, this is easy. Give me Barry Bonds, Tony Gwynn, and give me Willie Mays, one of the best catchers of all. Give me Willie Mays.
Eric, you're a baseball guy. Pick your 3 outfielders out of these.
Ooh. I'm going to go with Griffey. I'm going to go with Hank Aaron. And I will go with Barry Bonds.
Emily?
I like Bonds, but I think the thing is his career is kind of tarnished by the roids. But instead I'll pick Hank Aaron, and Joe DiMaggio had that really long hit streak, and I feel like that could be really nice.
He's a Yankee. You can't do it. He's a
unfortunately, but
Can't do it.
Baseball history. I got to do it.
Yeah.
And you gotta have the charm of Griffey.
Griffey, okay. Danny just picked 3 random ones. I'm really not that big to be.
Well, I'm going with Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth, and Hank Aaron.
Okay, I knew you would pick Hank Aaron because you like Hank Aaron. As for me, I'm gonna go with Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and Roberto Clemente.
I like that.
What if Ted Williams was an option?
Then I will replace him with. Oh, that is so. Man. Well, here's the thing. I could put Willie Mays at first base, then I'll put Williams as a first. Willie Mays at first base, and that's it. But I don't know who I could replace Leahy with, but I'm not sure. I'll just have to. I'll just use him as a here. How about this, Emily? I'll have him as a pinch hitter.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Yeah.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
We gotta do this with pitchers too at some point. That would be interesting to
We
see.
can do that.
And I'm telling you right now, I don't care what anybody says. I'm putting Roger Clemens in my list. I don't care.
Oh yeah, I will do that.
Care.
I don't care. I don't care if steroids tarnished him, but I mean, his time with the Sox was before the roids, and that on its own,
that's a Hall of Fame career, right there.
Borderline Hall of Fame, just with the Sox.
Yeah,
David, I have a joke about this baseball stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
A guy and his dog walks into a bar. He says to the bartender, "Hey, bartender, I have a talking dog." And the bartender said, "Really? Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you what. If that dog can talk, I'll give you $10,000. But if he doesn't talk, you give me $10,000, and I'm going to throw the both of you out of the window." He says, "You got it." So he brings up the dog, puts him on the bar. He says, "All right, buddy, what's on top of a house?" The dog says, "Roof." "What's on top of your mouth?" The dog says, "Roof." "Who's the best baseball player of all time?" Dog says, "Roof." Then the bartender says, "I've had enough of this." He throws both the guy and the dog out the window. And after that, the dog gets up and says, "Do you think I should have said DiMaggio?"
Oh. I get a Roof DiMaggio.
That's funny.
I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say Yogi Berra.
Oh, that
because of that Geico commercial.
Aflac commercial. Yeah,
sorry,
yeah, that's funny.
Hey, before I get out of here, I do have a baseball question for you guys because my time.
I have another one too, but you can.
Gotcha. My question, real quick, before I get out of here, is Ellie De La Cruz from Cincinnati. Do you think that he'll find success with the Reds, or do you think it's going to be with another team in the next 3 or 4 years once he can get out that contract? Because I really want to see him have success, but I don't think it's going to be in Cincinnati.
With Francona at the Hill.
Yeah, well, I think Francona coming in is going to be good for that team because he usually has success. But I just don't know. The Reds are a little bit cursed right now.
He won't be a free agent until 2030. He's under team control until then. He's going to enter arbitration in 2027.
He signed a horrible contract. Horrible.
That's just the standard rookie deal.
Yeah, but it was a bad contract.
Yeah.
Here's my one and final question before I let you go. This is going to be a controversial question to see. Should the Red Sox fans root for the Mets? That way they can take over New York and not beat the Yankees.
I don't think any Boston team should ever cheer for any New York team. I mean, we're talking about 1987. We're talking about Aaron freaking Boone. We're talking about the fact that no, never. And I'm still mad at the Red Sox for trading Mookie Betts. I mean, I'm still mad at them to this day for that. I mean, but one thing I like about Boston, they fought hard last year. They scrapped. I like watching Boston play, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do this upcoming season. But like I said, I need, and it's probably different up there from New York and Boston perspective. But from down here in the South, I just don't see the same intensity with the Red Sox and Yankees, and it pisses me off. I don't see that same. It's like after they won the World Series, it was like, oh man, we're relieved now. The curse of Bambino is over. It's over with. We don't have to worry about it no more. I just feel like that rivalry needs to get back to that personal space again.
There's that Joe Kelly brawl a few years back. That's probably the best.
Yeah, and that was like minimum, you know. And that's the thing. That was minimum at best.
Yeah, no. You can see that happening all the time, but now they only play each other 13 times a year. Used to be 19, 20 back then.
Yeah, and with the Verdugo thing last year, that was something, but it didn't really add anything. Plus, he doesn't have a job yet. I wonder why, because he's talk about clubhouse wars, and he's part of that.
Yeah. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If Garrett Cole gets the opportunity to pitch this season, does he plunk Devers?
No, he's not that type of pitcher.
He's not that type of pitcher, but I mean, but as a Yankee,
unless he will risk a suspension or worse, another bench clearing brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not that.
Garrett Cole, I wouldn't do it.
Well, Eric, baseball has changed now from where it was 20 years ago. Because 20 years ago, you're getting a receipt. These days, Rob Manfred, he doesn't want to play that. He wants his players to not fight, and he wants things to be in order. And I honestly can't blame him because you're one brawl away from something bad, seriously bad happening, somebody breaking a hand, maybe something crazy happening on the field. So I get it, I understand it.
Like with that Angels Mariners fight a few years ago.
You better not do it.
9 ejections from that. You don't see that anymore.
Yeah, with that Angels Mariners fight, that was crazy. And that was when the Angels knew they screwed up.
Now Mariners made the postseason that year.
Yep, in a
well, if it's one thing I do know, guys, I'll tell you this: it's March the 9th, and the Angels have already been eliminated from playoff consideration.
They were eliminated when their pitchers and catchers reported.
Exactly.
Heck, they were eliminated for next
Anthony
season as well.
Gone. Anthony
but I'll tell you. But I will tell you this though. The Athletics are going to be. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they're going to be damn close. They're gonna fight this year. They're gonna scrap. The A's are gonna be a very fun baseball team to watch. And I'll tell you, them and probably the Nationals. The Nationals are gonna be another team to watch that could possibly make the playoffs. They're gonna be a fun team.
Ooh,
the Nationals here going forward are gonna be a fun team to watch. Just pay attention to them. They're gonna be a fun team to watch here going forward.
Didn't they have a winning record in the second half a year?
Yeah, they had a winning record in the second half, and the pressure's on the Phillies. The pressure's on Philadelphia. They paid all this money. Bryce Harper got all this money. Hey, listen, are they going to win the World Series here soon? Last year, they got beat early. Are they going to win the World Series?
Was it last year with the second half winning record, or was it the year before? That was
Yeah, the Nationals had a really decent second half last year. Maybe it wasn't great. I know that they start off a little hot in the first half, but it wasn't great in the second half. But you can definitely see the growth in their baseball team.
Same with the Athletics last year. If you have good second halves, then you're in for it. Now we go.
I want to say it was 23. I don't know. It was one of those, but what was it? 23. At the break, they were 36-54, and then they finished 71-91.
Yeah.
Last year at the break, 44-53 at the All-Star break, and then 71-91. Consistency.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Go
on.
No, I was saying I think sooner or later they'll break through because they have a lot of young prospects. They know how to build their farm system. I'm still a big believer in farm system and building a farm system. So,
like the Orioles and Nationals, those are the two big ones that come. And also for the Cardinals, Danny, no Pujols, no problem.
Yes.
Not as of recently because they've been struggling since Pujols left.
Oh my god! Should I also mention the Cardinals have done nothing this offseason?
Really?
Yeah.
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 Where were they last year?
And you know why they've done nothing? You know why? And it's the sad truth. You know why the Cardinals organization doesn't do anything? Because those people are going to show up to Busch Stadium, regardless.
Yes.
83 and 79. No Goldschmidt.
Well, he's on a spring training. No,
it's on the Yankees now.
Oh, I thought you were talking about no, for a second. I misheard. But we'll see what happens with him. Because he's still on the Cardinals.
No. Chaim Bloom's going to be taking the helm next year, and we saw what he did in his time with the Red Sox. It was lackluster to say the least, other than 2021. But I want to say that was a scrappy team.
Gotta give him credit for rebuilding the farm system. That was what he.
That's what he does. I mean, he could have had he should have had more time, but he was apparently really indecisive. And for a big market like Boston, that's not a good thing to have.
No,
like
and
2022, where you should have sold in 2022, honestly, but 23, I mean, you sell or buy. I mean, these Red Sox teams as of late, they've been pretty good into the All-Star break. They've been 10 games up above 500, or something like that. And people are saying like they're up in like the top 10 of the power rankings, and then they can't make it down the stretch like after the break, July, August. They'll falter down the stretch.
They're gonna have to make a
21
move.
was-
They're gonna have to make a move, and
They got to make the move. Yeah, 21 they made the move. They brought in Schwarber. And they kind of still faltered down the stretch, but September they really kicked into high gear. That's kind of the difference between 21 and those other teams.
We have some news about the Rays here.
Source, MLB Commissioner Manfred and some owners are pressuring Stu Sternberg to sell the Rays, which is good, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I don't think they should no longer be in Tampa, honestly. And
to Montreal.
For them being in the NL what the NL East is a joke.
They're in the AL.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the AL East. They're being in the AL East is a joke because they're down in Florida. Every other team is up north, so I mean it's a little bit of a joke. But to your point, Montreal.
Yeah, and Garrett Cole is recommended to have tummy joint surgery.
He's probably done.
He's done.
Well, Red Sox are going to be at least 0-2 this year.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to the Yankees, they're going to be due. The Yankees are going to be due soon because they had a good season last year, but I've already said it. I don't like the fact that they gave Aaron Judge all that money. Aaron Judge is a great player, but he's I think that sooner or later he's going to slow down, and eventually you're going to get a situation where I think Vlad Guerrero Jr. is going to end up going to the Boston Red Sox very soon. That's just my opinion. I think Vlad Guerrero Jr. somehow get to the Boston Red Sox, and they'll get some other good players, and you're not going to be able to hold Boston down for long. So the Yankees are not going to be able to have – the Yankees are going to have to do something soon as far as winning the World Championship. Here's the problem. You have the Houston Astros who are going to inevitably come back and get them. And
Astros.
on the NL, you got the Dodgers waiting. So, I mean, if you're the Yankees, what are you really going to be winning the next couple of years?
Might I also add, the Yankees have not won a championship since their old stadium was standing.
2009.
Yeah, 2009 they won the new stadium, but what was looming across the street was the old stadium.
And then ever since that got taken down, they haven't won since.
Choked. Yep, they've been choking.
So could it be the curse of the old Yankee Stadium taken down?
You could say that.
I mean, who knows? It could be, but again, since Mr. Steinbrenner passed, they have not been the same organization. They've gone a little soft. They're not as brash as they used to be. They're not the same team. They're not the same type of organization.
Yeah. They're gonna fill seats though, because it's the Yankees.
They'll fill seats, but yeah. And my man David, man David, I'm gonna catch you later, brother. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Glad meeting you all.
We'll definitely have you on. We'll definitely have you on more once the MLB season gets underway. So
can't wait. And we'll talk some minor league baseball as well as we have the Richmond Flying Squirrels affiliate down here, which used to be Atlanta Braves, but Richmond Braves. But that's another story for another day.
All right. See you hopefully in the next week or two. So
all right. Go Braves.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other Boston team.
Word win. Yes.
They also won a championship back in 1914.
Yep. They went to the World Series in 1948. That was like their last gasp, and Ted Williams' popularity on the other side of town. No, they were kind of in the same area. Like Northeastern was.
Yeah.
No, they played on what's now BU's campus, I believe. It's like just a short green line ride away from Kenmore Square, but
I see.
That was their last gasp to maintain fan base in Boston, and they lost to Cleveland. That is to date the Cleveland Guardians' most recent championship in 1948 under a different name, which I'm not going to say.
Dan, can you get some Reddit stuff for us to check out for fun? Like everything.
Let's see.
Probably just share screen some we haven't done a Reddit segment in a while, so that'll be
Here.
so it's busy. So on our Sunday shows, we are still going to try to have the interviews, the hangout sessions, but we're going to try to add more sports talking to it as well. We'll still have that more structured where we can talk about whatever we want, but we will try to cover a lot of sports as we can possibly can throughout the season. And I hope you guys have changed the clocks last night.
I almost forgot. I almost forgot to change the clock. I almost forgot to change the clocks, and I ended up.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yes,
I
like
not.
I like springing forward a hell of a lot more than going back an hour because it gets it gets dark at 7 p.m. as it should, and we have more sunlight, and yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. We should just stay here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, and plus, I want more accidents when it's dark at 4 o'clock at night.
Let me go to the bathroom.
It's just terrible.
I want more accidents at 4 o'clock at night. With the
Oh yeah, that's also sun setting during rush hour too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like that.
Like sunrise and sunset during rush hour. That is, and you're gonna get interference with solar glare.
That's why I rather work in the morning for 4 hours and then get out there before the traffic.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd rather work from like 10:30 till 2:30 and get out.
Yep. Yeah.
But
like 6 to 2. Although a lot of schools get out at 2, and there's kind of like a rush hour there.
True. So maybe, I would, depending where the distance is, but it really depends, honestly. But I'm glad that spring is coming because it's been a bad winter.
Yes, it's been a long winter.
See, over here, in the Boston area, we'll be getting high of 60 on Tuesday, 56 tomorrow.
Thank you. I bought this shirt not too long ago. I saw it on eBay. They had a shirt like this, but here's the thing: they didn't have it in my size back then. But then somebody else sold it on eBay and had it in my size. I said, "Oh, I'm getting it." So,
yep, a remote control shirt. So,
I got the game for the NES.
Oh wow!
And I scored 545 points in one setting.
All right, what's this game?
In the real game show back in the day, no one scored. The highest score was 260, I believe.
Interesting.
Money may not buy happiness, but poverty doesn't buy anything. Lol.
Yep. From r/technically the truth.
That's an interesting source.
Yeah. People posting. I have my Red Sox pride cap, although it's mirrored, but
they got some difficult decisions to make because freaking Trace Thompson's on fire in spring training.
He has no options left. He can't be optioned. So
yeah, that's what I mean. They got, I like to see him make the team.
I would.
Like a backup outfielder.
Yeah, we have Ref Snyder for that too, and we're also trying to get Sogard some reps in the utility role.
That's another one.
I'll have extra outfields and extra bench.
Yeah.
Eric, you like that?
I don't approve like Sesame Street characters swearing with it. No. I'm sure people make stuff on the internet.
I think Cookie Monster should be the next host of Wheel of Fortune.
Well, that would take Ryan Seacrest to get out of the job.
I wonder what his contract is, actually.
You got to give him some time.
Yeah, I think he's doing
careful, Okada. This is one big boy you're dealing with here.
Yeah, I wonder what his contract is for Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Speaking of contracts, the Price is Right is getting new person to take over the show next year. A new EP.
Yeah.
Oh, a new executive producer. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it Mike?
No, stop it with Mike Richards.
Please
No.
Stop it with Mike Richards. Stop, Jamie.
No.
You better
it's,
believe that if he knows about that, he's got to be, that meme where it's the guy behind the tree going like this. That's got to be Mike when he hears the Price is Right. He's looking for a
show life.
new executive producer.
I would anyone but him. Like, really, I mean,
it's gonna be the person who works with.
I'd rather have Logan Paul be a game show producer than Mike Richards. Okay.
oh,
No, I'd rather have Mike than Logan Paul, but I'm gonna go with
whoever. I don't care.
John Cena.
John Cena. He'd be good. He hosted that. Oh, by the way, I watched a couple episodes of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader from 2010. That was an interesting show, I have to say.
Oh, yeah.
I have the appearance of Ken Jennings on that show.
Yes, he was on that. Yeah.
He should have gone for it,
Mhm.
but I'll let you. If you've watched that, I will let you make the assessment. But should I spoil what his $1 million question would have been?
No, not now.
No, but you can find it. You can find it various places on the internet. You can find it, but all I will say is that it's ridiculously easy.
Any more Reddit stuff, Danny?
Not for Reddit, but make sure you watch. What's on the docket for next Friday's episode?
Nothing at the moment.
Okay. Well, we know next Sunday we're planning on doing match game, so we hope to see you there and watch that. It'll be live, so we'll have to be on our best behavior.
That's not what match game is about.
Brody.
No, it's not.
Why do I have this? I have the leaked Mike Richards trial episode of him hosting Price is Right.
You mean his audition tape?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's been on YouTube for a few. I think that's been on YouTube ever since he got fired from Jeopardy.
Yeah. Kind of an interesting leak. I have that leak. I also have James Holtzhauer's 33rd game leak. The master copy of that. On another hard drive. I haven't been able to get it to boot up, but
yes, we are email. We're doing that next week, and
yeah, we need emo as a panelist for sure, and hopefully we're gonna have Charlie as one of the contestants.
Yes. Oh, you have Johnster. How you doing, Johnster?
There we go. Sorry for the delay.
Oh, Johnster! This is the first time we. This is really cool.
Hey, Eric, what's good, man?
Not much, Johnster. Not much, Johnster. I'm watching a little AEW right now.
Oh boy.
And it's all caught out. I want King to, but MJF got beat. Thank God. That's all. That's what happened.
Hey, speaking of AEW, Revolution. You know what reminds me of? Revolution.
Oh, New England Revolution. I've been in a game a long time ago when my church used it. What's in the 90s?
Yeah. Danny, answer that question or what?
I'll answer it to him just a second.
Yeah, Revolution. Emily, and Eric, are they planning to move out to the stadium soon? I've heard rumors about that. Oh, something happened to Johnston.
I keep forgetting if it's Malden or Medford. I'm pretty sure it's in Malden.
I've heard rumors that the Revolution is going to be moving out to the stadium.
Yeah, in Malden. They haven't built it. Oh, no, it's in Everett.
That's where it's more text, man.
It's going to be in the vicinity of the Encore Casino, which is in Everett right now. But I haven't heard any progress of that stadium though. But it's going to be a pain to get to because the Orange Line, the T, their closest stop is at Assembly, and it's for a city like Boston. If you're gonna have a stadium in that vicinity, you better have good public transit to get there because a lot of you consider the population that don't have cars, and also it's dangerous. Like is why I always say if you go to Fenway, leave your car at one of the Green Line stops, like Riverside. You're coming from the west.
We
my
finally
choice.
got a commuter rail here in Bedford, Mass. So we finally got one built up, so it's ready to go.
Yeah, that's gonna be exciting.
So
I'm all the way up in Lowell, so when I go to Fenway, I'll just take the train down, change at North Station, which is where you get off to go to the Garden. So if I go to the Garden, I go to Fenway, pretty easy.
Hey, Chunster, you're a Philly fan, right?
Say that again. I can't hear you.
You're a Philly fan, right?
Yes.
What's your thoughts on the Phillies for this upcoming season?
I can understand why a lot of people are throwing shade at us. I do still think we are the best team in the East Division. In terms of doing something in October, only time will tell there.
Yeah. No. And I mean, they still have a pretty good. They have the same lineup, so.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This lineup just won the division. I understand the Mets just showed on a bunch of other pieces, but I have to point out, sure you beat us in a playoff series, but you were red hot. So we just ran into a red hot team. Could you really do it again if that series happens earlier in the calendar year? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, and with the Nationals, watch out for them because Rob just recently said that they're gonna be a good team because a year or two ago they had a winning record in the second half, so they're gonna be interesting to watch for this year. So
yeah, I don't get why people think the Nationals will be bad. That team is the definition of competitive. I don't think they'll be good, but they're not going to be terrible either.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens with the Nationals. I actually like the Nationals. They're one of my favorite teams to follow because
it's a long stretch. It's a very long 162 game season. So anything can happen. I mean, could have the Royals winning the Central.
That's possible.
I was just going to call it the Comedy Central, or you could have
Comedy Central.
You could probably best apply that to the National League Comedy Central.
Yes, I agree.
Cubs will finish 83 and 79 again.
I actually have the Cubs winning that division this year.
Yeah, we'll see.
The White Sox will be winning for another 10 years.
Okay, I have another.
Here's the funny thing with the White Sox. I have them having a win improvement of like 13 or 14 games, which is probably could be one of the most in baseball. That only puts them at like 55 and 107.
107.
Yeah, it is 55 107.
Yep. Might also add, Diamondbacks, 89 wins last year, didn't make the playoffs. Who could be our 89 win team out this year?
Arizona should have gotten in. That was so preventable. All you could do is think back to June and July. Paul Sewald blowing those saves. Like, Arizona's up 1 on the Dodgers. 9th inning, 2 out. No. 9th inning, Diamondbacks up 1. Two straight batters, out. Next batter, double. Next batter, hit. Dodgers walk it off. And then early July, Diamondbacks up 2 at home on the Braves. 2 outs real fast. And then a hit. Game-tying home run, Braves winning extras. That's your difference right there. If Paul Sewald just records the 3rd out before the home run, Braves don't go to the playoffs. The Diamondbacks do.
That was between.
That was probably the most preventable collapse I've ever seen. The 2024 Diamondbacks, easily one of the most preventable.
Both of them lost the season series to the Mets and the Braves, so they dropped out of the tiebreaker. It came down to that game 162 that was pushed back because of the rain. Only reason why that last day of the year wasn't canceled between the Braves and the Mets was because it had playoff implications. Who was going to Philly for game, or who was going to San Diego,
Milwaukee.
or who was going to Milwaukee?
Yeah. Now, what do you mean by
even getting in the postseason? Might I add?
What do you mean, Emily, on 89 game out?
89 win team that does not make the playoffs, like the Diamondbacks last year. Like a team with a good
I don't have
record.
I don't have an exact 89, but I have close to it.
Yeah.
I have Houston missing the playoffs with 87 wins. That's give or take close. I have Texas winning the division with 89.
Huh.
The AL West and the NL Central are going to be like battling for who's not the worst division in baseball, because those are easily, in my opinion, the two weakest.
Tyre Calvert, can you put on here and explain why?
Well, the NL Central, let's be honest. The Pirates, well, not are the Pirates. The Cardinals, let's be real. After 2022, they're just falling apart. The Reds are the definition of mid. The Brewers are due for a step back. The Cubs, not spectacular, but can be, when healthy, the best team in that division. And then the AL West, the A's and the Angels, less said the better. The Mariners are the American League version of the Reds, in my opinion. The Astros, they showed their weaknesses last year. I don't think they're going to skate by this time. Texas, they could have eaten. Last year, yeah, they were coming off a World Series win, but then injuries just piled up. One healthy Texas can reclaim the Western Division, and I think that roster is capable if Houston takes that step back.
Oh, by the way, Chancellor, Dominic says hello to you. In the,
what was it?
Right here. See
it's 1 and not 2, Godfather Dom.
Good to see you, Godfather.
Erica, who do you think will be the 89 team out of the playoffs this year, like the Diamondbacks?
89 win team, huh?
We'll say like, maybe not 89, but like
we can't
a good number of wins.
We cannot predict how many wins our teams are going to get.
That's true.
But let's say a team that heads up over 500 but not make the playoffs. I might have to go with the Red Sox because I don't know if the pitching.
Red Sox to me are borderline mediocre.
I don't know what the pitching can hold up. It all depends on who goes where in the rotation, in the bullpen.
That division is basically a 2-horse race: the Yankees and the Orioles. I slight edge to Baltimore because the Yankees, they're due for a step back. Last year they exceeded expectations. That's not happening again. Baltimore, my pick to win that division.
You want my answer? The St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, sorry.
Could they finish over 500? Yes. Do I think that happens? No.
No, I have a.
No, my serious answer would be the Padres.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I see the Red Sox go over 500 this season, but not make the playoffs unless something really drastic happens to the Yankees or Orioles.
I was just say, yeah, it's like 0-2, 93 wins, but they would have been the 5. No, they would have been the 6th that year. Because 5, I think the Oakland A's won the division. Seattle was 93.
Second.
They would have had the tiebreaker over us, so we would have been the 6th seed that year if it went that far. Or you can also the 93 Giants. 103 wins, didn't even make the playoffs. That's the way the playoff format was. You had to win your division, and then 94 would have bought in the wild cards, but we know what happened in 94.
And Tyler says he wants to see the Orioles win a playoff game. Yeah, that'll be February 3rd.
They haven't won a playoff game since 2014. They were in the division series. That year, the Angels played
Kansas City. Wait,
Yeah.
no, Angels were swept. The Angels were swept.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was trying to think. Yeah, and they played Detroit in the. Oh yeah, that's right. They played Detroit in the division series, and they had to play
Oh,
KC.
Baltimore. I got mixed up with who you were talking about. I was going to say, no, the
Yeah.
Angels 2014? No, that's not their last one. Last
Yeah.
time the Angels won a playoff game,
09.
2009.
Yeah.
Who's that question for, Dominic? Who do you like? Still like Chris Hill? I like Chris Hill. I met him. I met Chris Hill back in 2023. I met him.
In 2033.
2023, you fool. This is what I don't have the I'll just say this.
With that record, survey says.
That's not to say for your answer, Danny.
Of course.
I was gonna put the you lose the desert, but I don't have that. So I want to ask, who is your favorite current baseball player? Who's on your favorite? What the?
I don't know what
Somebody glitched.
I was gonna say, who was your favorite baseball current player on your current team? I'll start with Danny on the St. Louis Cardinals. I know Poole is retired, but Danny, you've had to pick a player on the St. Louis Cardinals who's on there right now. Who's your favorite?
I'll go with left fielder Alec Burleson.
Okay, Emily.
Favorite player on the Sox?
What?
This is a tough
Right
one. Right now? This is come back.
Okay, Eric.
Masataka Yoshida for me.
That's a good one. For me, it's Devers. Chonster.
For me, it's Zach Wheeler.
Okay. Bregman is my second favorite, but he hasn't signed a long contract extension yet, so I can't. I hope to get a jersey of him soon because
He has
he's my favorite
opt-outs
player.
after this year. I was gonna say before the whole off-season drama started, it was gonna be Casas.
And your final answer is?
Is that your final answer? Whoa!
I like Devers. Yeah. No. Now we gotta do pitchers. I know.
Yes.
Well, I already said a pitcher.
You gotta say a position player now.
Fair.
What is it, Johnston?
Hey, you want me to go first? Ooh, shit. This is what I get for speaking so much.
For a position player,
favorite position player.
What do pitchers?
There's a bunch of good choices here. I'm gonna go with. Oof. I know a lot of people would say Bryce Harper, but I'm actually gonna go with Trey Turner.
Ooh,
solid.
Yeah, speed.
Solid.
I actually came up with another good question. We'll do that for next week or two. Well, actually, we can do it next week because opening day is actually next week on the I guess on the 18th or no the 20th. What is the
There's
first
a Tokyo series? Those are regular season games.
The Tokyo series, I believe, is a week from Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes, it's Tuesday, March 18th at 6:10 a.m., which I'll have to be.
All right.
I'll have to watch the highlights for it instead because I cannot be home for it. But also it's at 6:10. But so it'll make sense for us to start covering baseball next week with baseball regular season games starting on that Tuesday. And of course, if any NFL free agent stuff happens, we'll also do it. So for those who want to come on here and just hang out and don't talk about sports, we'll have more room for that sometime like I don't know, maybe after 9:30, like we did here tonight. Well, we're starting to talk about sports because of the group we have. I'm just saying, I'm trying to get more structured format on Sundays. And also, of course, we're doing match game next week. So
Next Sunday, yes.
All right.
So we'll definitely. And you want 8 people for that one total, Danny?
Well, it needs 2 players and 6 panelists.
8
Yeah,
people.
that'll be 8 people total. Yeah, 6 to plus 2, Danny. So, and that is the number of earning watchers that never win a game again in his life.
I think Emily would be a good panelist for match game next week. What do you think?
We
If you
shall
want
see.
to.
That is if I will be there, but we'll see.
What about you, Johnston? Do you want to play match game next week?
Sure, I'm down.
Okay.
Do you have a camera?
I do. It's just not working right now.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but we'll definitely look into that for next week, and it'll be a lot of fun doing some match game. Now, what version, Danny, should we do match game next week? Like, what version? Like, if you want the like what year?
Oh, we're doing my version now. Brandon Beauregard has a version of his own. We're gonna try that, and we'll try that on a later episode.
Yeah, we can do that later. Let's do that. Let me see. Trying to look at my schedule. Let's do that. Friday, March. Let's see. Where is the? Let me see. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Oh, just to let you know, David, I have Saturdays off now from work. So
okay. Yeah, you can come on Fridays. So
if you want me to come on Fridays as well, I can do that for you.
Yeah, let's do. You can come on, and we can also do Emo's match game on Friday, March 28th, if you want to.
Okay, let's try it. Let's try it.
Yeah. Friday,
If
March 28th.
it's the 28th, then I can't make it.
No, it's a different person, Johnston. But we're doing 2 match games this month, so we're doing Danny's version on the 16th and Emo's on the 28th. So, yeah. And Erica, and you can put me part of both of those if you want to. So,
I have Saturdays off now, so I can stay up late Fridays. The only thing is I'll be watching SmackDown, but that's okay.
Okay.
You know, but like I can turn TV. I'll turn my camera a slight way so you won't see it, but I'll try to attention. So no big deal. Oh boy.
Yeah, for sure. What's happening there, Eric? Oh boy.
Watching the tag team title match between the Outrunners and the Hurricanes. Yeah, this is a heck of a fight, though. I thought her Syndicate's gonna run over the Outrunners, but no, Outrunners are putting up a fight. So,
remember that Danny tag team match?
Holla, holla, holla!
Yeah. And what's going on with the Bruins? They're not making the playoffs this year.
Nope.
You gave away Coyle. You gave away Brian Mershon. You traded him to all teams, the Panthers. Alex Putnam must be doing cartwheels in his room right now. As a result. We got Brian Marchand. That's going to make them stronger. I see it's repeat from the Panthers this year.
Yep, that's what's going to happen.
Maybe.
But, what do you think about your the
Flyers? Less of the better. Season's been done.
Well, let me see where the St. Louis Blues are at.
We're averaging like 1 goal a game the past week, give or take.
Let me see. No, I want the Western Conference. Danny, your St. Louis Blues are in 5th place out of 8. So you're not making the playoffs. Sorry, Danny. Yeah. Only 2 teams in St. Louis. St. Louis Blues and Cardinals.
Don't forget the UFL. That's coming back soon.
I don't really care about the UFL. Only the Rock cares about it.
So that means I'm 4-2. All right.
Only the Rock cares about the UFL, in my opinion. But,
Yeah.
Well, I predicted the other match they won too.
I thought New England had a team in there. I thought they did.
We don't.
Maybe in 10 years if we're still alive. But
Yes.
in the meantime, just watch game shows and golf.
Play golf.
Yes, we like to play golf here on the network with Dr. Chu.
Yes.
Have a six what? Tell the truth, Danny. I'm sorry.
What, the 6 handicap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
Hopefully, we can do a golf match vlog video on here. That'd be great.
That'd be
playing
good.
golf. Yes. And I'll tee off at 4 a.m. 4 o'clock in the morning.
4 in the morning.
Yep, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll tee off, play golf, take on the score, and then tell everybody that I met Tiger Woods. No, I did not. I wonder when Tiger is ever going to stop playing golf. I think he won't ever stop.
Oh, he'd be a fool to stop playing golf.
Yeah, he is the GOAT of PGA Tour golf. Juan Michael Wang is second. But we'll see what happens with Tiger Woods. And by the way, Emily and Chunster, what do you think is the best playoffs in all sports, all the 4 sports?
Ooh. That's a really hard question when you think about it.
I have my answer.
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm not
How about
stopping you.
baseball?
That's a really good answer.
Yeah.
Chunster?
It's a tie between baseball and hockey. I'd put football right behind it.
Yeah. I don't know about football because the referee.
It's one game, season on the line.
One game too. Yeah, that explains it. Yeah.
You lose, you're done.
Yeah. I'll have to say, oof. I think hockey. I know it's a surprising answer, but here's the thing. With the MLB right now, with the wild card format as it is, there's teams that are up below by 500 and that gets to the playoffs. With hockey, you don't get that, I think. So, Eric, out of all the 4 sports, who has the best playoffs?
Good question. I'm gonna go with baseball.
Okay. The only issue is, like I said, with the wild card, there's teams below 500 that make it to the playoffs, and also
That's actually never happened before, strangely enough.
And also there's teams that win the division all the time, and they don't make it to the World Series, except for last year. But it's just strange, because before last year, every time in this new format, they win the division and they're going to the World Series, but they did this year. Oh, Chauncey, Dom said he hopes that your Phillies do well this year.
I hope so too, man. I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so the same thing, because I like to see Harper in the World Series again, like 2022.
As do I, man.
Oh, side question.
Yeah.
How many times is Bryce gonna get ejected this year?
Oh boy.
Not many as Aaron Boone.
Aaron Boone probably outdoes him by a mile.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm
think
so
it's
happy
close.
they extended him. The Yankees. I'm so glad they extended Aaron Boone so I can see more of those ejections.
Yeah.
I just have to I don't really like watching the Yankees, but I'll have to for only the ejections, I'll have to watch MLB Network or MLB Beginning.
They're also John Boy's favorite team, so he's definitely gonna be biased when it comes to covering Boone ejections.
He is friends with him too because he interviews him once a week.
Yeah, Aaron Beepin Boone.
Yeah. Good thing I wasn't only 1 year old yet. I was basically 0 when that happened.
You were like just born when that happened.
Right before.
Yeah. No, he's yeah. He was around for like a couple 3 months, pretty much.
October 14th, I was born, so it was right before that. But I came in at the right time.
Somebody also mentioned, like, would it be acceptable for a Red Sox fan to root for the Mets? Someone asked that earlier here.
That was me, and let me explain why. We hate the Yankees so much, and we don't want them to take over the town of New York City. If the Mets do that, then it'll be good because you don't have to hear about the Yankees all the time. You can hear about the Mets rather than the Yankees.
That logic actually was exactly what I was thinking. That's why I understand a lot of the same question about the Phillies. Our fans wanted to see the Yankees succeed. Same thing. We hate the Mets with a burning passion, and a lot of them aren't too fond of the Yankees running New York. So, same thing, the other way.
Yeah.
What do you think, Emily, about that question?
Well, it depends. Have you forgiven 1986? That's my biggest question.
I wasn't around for that.
If you were around.
Yeah.
Coming from a Gen Z fan, I say yes, but I mean, pick your poison though. I mean, the Mets have really started to become more.
Plus, they added one solo, and I want that to be a successful contract. So
yeah, they've kind of started to go like whole evil empire and just start spending endlessly.
That's why I want them to win a lot because if they keep doing that, if that's more successful doing it that way, spending, then that means that it'll take over the Yankees, and I want that to happen. So that's why I want to follow the Mets. Eric, I know you were around in 1986, but would you like to see the Mets? If you had to pick would it be a good idea for a Red Sox fan to follow the Mets for them to be successful? So that way,
bad idea.
Bad idea. Okay.
Bad idea because I'm not rooting for any New York team. Period.
That too.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a very controversial question because we want to see the Yankees do very bad, but in order to make that happen, the Red Sox or the Mets have to take over, and also the Dodgers and all that.
That's the other thing. I've kind of bounced around like with NL teams. Like I've kind of said the Cubs because of 2016 and that whole team. And then the Mets last year because for hating the Yankees but like no, if I'm gonna be honest,
not Terry Francona.
Tito's good, but like I just I think it might just be the thing with Pete Rose and whatnot, though. 1975.
Trey Smith has signed a franchise tag working in $23.4 million on a 1 year fully guaranteed deal. Trey Smith. I don't know. Who cares? Who cares about the teams?
I do. Well, not really. I guess I'm obligated to because I live in St. Louis, but
Well, you're in
Kansas City, not in St. Louis, Danny. You got the St. Louis Rams, I believe.
They don't extinct.
Oh, that's right. No. Back
they went to LA.
I keep forgetting about that. Gosh. But yeah, the Rams signed Devontae Adams to a deal.
Yes,
they did.
Mm-hmm. About relocations.
Yeah. I think the A's have the most moves of all sport teams. That's one. I don't know if that's true, but I think the A's have the most moves in as always.
Yeah, you could
I
say
think
because
that's it,
Philadelphia to KC and then to Oakland and now
Yeah.
to Sacramento temporarily and then to Vegas.
Sacramento,
Yeah.
you can put an asterisk on because that wasn't part the original. If you know what I
No.
mean.
No, they
Well,
just want to
David,
go.
Sacramento kind of put a big asterisk on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny.
well, David, you could always play bingo
Why?
because our friend works at the bingo hall.
Oh.
We're not bringing him up, are we?
No.
No.
Bring a hall friend? Better not.
Yeah, Danny, behave yourself or I'll put your time.
I'm bringing up people that cause drama.
Okay.
You could also consider most relocations. Oakland Raiders, then the LA Raiders, then back to Oakland, and now in Vegas.
Yeah. The A's are actually one of my other favorite teams to research about their history. They have so much history.
Yeah,
And
they
it's so
do.
sa-
They still have the most championships in Philadelphia.
And also, they have my favorite color, green. So that's, I'm sad to see them leave Oakland because not only because of the green part, but they have just so much history, and they beat prime Yankees in the mid-20s, 19 to 29, I think it was, when they beat them. I mean, let me see if I can find their lineup. Philly. I know we're talking about Philly here, but oh, Johnster, is that your favorite American League team? The A's, because they used to be in Philly.
The A's have always been. I can understand why you say the A's, but growing up, American League, it was always a tie between Kansas City and Toronto.
Solid.
I do respect the A's, though.
Yeah, because they used to be. They used
Not
to have
even
guys
that.
like. They used to have guys like Timmy Fox, who was also one of the Red Sox. Alex
Yep.
Simmons, Mickey Contra, or whatever it pronounces. But Miller, like they just. Let me see if I can put up the one up.
Don't forget about Connie Mack. He's the manager.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. I wish I could find a lineup. 1929. Where's the? That's the full. I just want the full lineup in general. Let me see if I can find images of it. I'll do that another time. I don't have time. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I'll do that another time. But that's gonna be it for this episode of Chilling3000 Hangouts. We'll be back this Friday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
I can make that. I can do that.
All right, pretty cool. I'm not sure what's gonna be happening on Friday yet, but I'll let you guys know. And also, all I know is that for the 16th, we will be doing match game, and also we'll be doing another match game on the 28th. So we'll definitely since we do that, and hopefully we can have some good people on for the both of those, and we'll see what happens on there.
It'll be a blanking good time.
Please don't smoke, Danny. The only people that can smoke is Celtics coaches.
I'm not even.
Other than that,
I just said that. It was just my fingers.
I didn't. Like I said, the only people that can smoke is the Celtics coaches.
And Charlie.
Yes, unfortunately, that's good. Who just does unhealthy things, in my opinion. But
if we get 10 viewers on the 28th, I will get wasted on the stream.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
That is time to get a lot of alts.
Danny's gonna be drunk on Red Bubble, you know. Red Bubble, man. Red Bubble. I'm gonna sign Red Bubble. I can see Danny getting drunk out of his mind.
You wouldn't know how many alts I have if I have any alts.
Oh, okay. So it will just be rigged. Okay.
Yeah, copy.
It's like Beavis when he eats sugar, he turns into cornholio. Danny will probably turn something into drinks alcohol.
Imagine that.
If we get 100 live viewers, I will interview Mike Richards.
Yes.
But that would never happen.
Oh God, Mike Richards.
All right, talk to. See you there.
All right,
See
bye
ya.
everybody.
Bye.
But
Good night.
but